Today I want to speak with you about why the rich get richer and the fat get fatter. What? He said the word F, fat? Yes, my friend, I am more interested in getting you results than in hurting your feelings. I don't want to hurt your feelings, and so I want you to just put your emotions aside 1 second and hear what I have to say, because I truly believe that what I'm about to say has the power to start shifting the way you think and therefore get in tip-top shape, get out of yo-yo dieting, and all of those things that have plagued you for so long in regards to your diet. So please hear me out. I want to talk about the powerful word momentum. Momentum is that force that allows you to repeat a success over and over and over again. So we want to figure out, we want to basically break down the process of momentum. How does momentum happen? I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the 80s, right, the Mets had a player, his name was Darryl Strawberry. Darryl Strawberry, every time he would go up on the plate, he would hit it out of the park over and over and over again. How did he do it? We're going to talk about that. We also look at guys like Warren Buffett, right? Where every single investment seems to be successful, right? Guys like, Charlie Munger, who have been investing for so many years and get the same results over and over and over and over again. We're like, how are these people so successful? How do they have so much momentum in what they do, right? We look at the popular name Elon Musk, right? He's building cars, he's in space, he has all this innovation, and you're like, how did this man create this momentum? How does this man have success in everything he does? And the answer to that is really interesting, right? I want you to think of this. The chances of you winning the lottery in this lifetime, right, out of 10 are 0.1%, if that, right? Now, here's where it gets really interesting. If you do win the lottery in this lifetime, your chances of winning the lottery again actually go up to 1.2%. Massive difference. And the question is why? Does fate, honor people for success? Not necessarily, but in a way, yes. This speaks more about your identity, right? Your identity is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your identity is a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you are able to do is not as important as what you believe about yourself, right? Everyone has the capacity to do whatever they set out to do, but the challenge is we have a very flawed identity around if we can do that or not. So then the question is, how do we actually create this success? How do we get this momentum? How do we win one time so that we can do it over and over and over again? And this is what I'm here to speak with you about. I oftentimes see people that come onto our program and they've had lots and lots of failures with dieting. They've been on yo-yo diets. They've lost a ton of weight. They've been able to sustain it for a year, 2 years, and then all of a sudden something happens in their life. There's a tragic event. There's a moment of depression, a person loses their job, and they go into the spiral and they gain all the weight back. This leads me to believe that their identity is self-fulfilling. When we go into difficult moments, when we go into dark moments in our lives, we have a tendency to basically take the things that are powerful about ourselves and dole them down, right? That identity kind of is set aside, that winner identity is set aside, and then we pick up these set of beliefs that say that we can't do X, Y, Z, and therefore we can't repeat that. The guy that's hitting the home runs, the person that's investing, the person that's innovating is going off of that momentum, off of that success. Same thing happens with people when they actually start losing weight in the right way. They start to get an identity around that, right? They start to identify with a healthy person, and therefore the choices they make are choices healthy people make. This momentum keeps them going. They look in the mirror, they look great, right? They're losing weight, they're making better decisions, they're exercising, they're sleeping better, they're breathing better. And then all of a sudden, right, they get that magical picture and they look at themselves back when they weren't fit and they go, I will never go back here again. When I hear those words, I understand that that person's identity has radically changed and that there is a momentum, there is a force that will keep moving that person in the right direction. Rarely do we even identify that momentum when we're in it. We just think, oh, things are going well, but we never stop to think of the syntax of the situation. We never actually look at the process of why we are succeeding. And a lot of that has to do with momentum, more importantly, with your identity. And so how do we create an identity if we are not there yet? How do we become Darryl Strawberry? How do we become the Warren Buffetts? How do we become the Elon Musk? Or how do we just lose weight and keep it off and identify as a healthy person? How do we start? And that's what this video is about. I want to give you 3 tangible ways on how to begin that process, okay? Number 1, I want to talk to you about hiring a coach, right? I know this sounds like the typical a tip that another coach would give you: hire a coach, hire me. No, I'm not saying hire me. I'm simply saying that you want to work with someone that has already had success in this area. Here's why. That coach can show you the step-by-step to start creating that identity, right? If you don't have it in you, if you have no idea, where do I get started? Guess what? That coach that's done it over and over and over and over again understands the syntax, the process behind that identity. And so what he does is he starts actually tangibly giving you the step-by-step process that's going to move you in the direction of momentum and get that force going. So this is one of the reasons mentorships and coaching is so incredibly powerful. It's not just someone telling you what to do, it's someone actually bringing a belief system to you and showing you tangibly how to do that. So if you've never invested in a coach, my friend, you're wasting time and time is more expensive than money, right? You can get money back. You can't get your time back. So coaches offer that shortcut on how to provide that belief system, that momentum that you need, and that step-by-step process. And so don't hesitate if you find a coach that has social proof. In other words, he can show you that he's done this over and over and over again. And this is basically another day at the office. You need to hire that coach, whatever realm that is. Of course, right now we're talking about nutrition. Hire the right nutrition coach. Make sure you have rapport with that person. Make sure that person has good energy. Make sure that person is passionate and not burned out. A lot of nutrition coaches, a lot of fitness coaches are burnt out, right? Because they're not connected to their purpose. So you want a coach that is really connected to his purpose, that is passionate about this, that basically sees you as a blank canvas that they can paint a beautiful picture on, share that picture with you, and strengthen your identity. So hire a coach. Number 2, you need to be coachable. I can't tell you how many people come onto my program and they're like, I'm ready to do this, I'm ready to do this. They're all excited. And then you start giving them all these things, these directions, these things to do, and they fight you, right? They bring their expertise to the table. And you're sitting there as a coach wondering, like, I thought I was supposed to be giving the coaching here, but it seems like the other way around. They're telling you all these myths and all these things they've heard, and they're hesitant, they're pushing back, and week 1, 2, 3 go by and nothing has happened because this person has decided not to take action on the directives that the coach is giving them. And so be coachable. If you trust the coach, you do your due diligence, which I highly recommend you do, and you trust this coach, and that coach says do X, Y, Z, and that sounds crazy, you trusted that coach, go all in. Right? Trust the coach, be coachable. And lastly, you want to make sure that before you do any of this, you do the work of identifying your why. The why is everything, okay? Human beings, we don't do things until we have a very strong reason. If you stop to think of the things that you do on a daily basis, you do them because you have a strong why. Even though you may not like a lot of those things, right? I don't care how much you like your job. It is hard to get up every day and show up and put a good face, put on a good face and give yourself, give it 100%. It's hard, but you do it every day because your livelihood is connected to that, and you get up and you do it every day. You get up and you take care of your kids, hopefully, because you love your kids and you realize that they can't do it without you. So you get up and you do things for them, even though it's hard. There's a strong why. You possibly are committed to your marriage, and if you've been married long enough, you realize that it's the biggest blessing, but it is challenging. But you continue to persevere because hopefully you've made a promise to God and to that person to love them unconditionally and to help them and be their helper, right? And so you've committed to that process because you have a strong why. You love your husband, you love your wife, you love your kids, you want a nice family. You continue to do it over and over. There's a strong why. So my friend, with this sort of visceral thing of losing weight and getting in the best shape of your life, which seems like a very visceral thing, I'm here to say that until you connect beyond looking a certain way and feeling a certain way and going to an event or putting on a dress or putting on the pants that you haven't been able to wear, for 5 or 10 years, beyond that, we need to connect to a more fulfilling, a more interesting why, okay? A more emotional why. That emotional why is the thing that's gonna move you. What is it? Is it leaving a legacy for your kids? Is it providing a good example? Is it getting out of stagnation because you're sick and tired of getting sick and tired? Is it a bad doctor's report that scared you to death and now you say, I have to do something because otherwise XYZ will happen? What's your why? You need to connect to that why in order for things to really happen. And so I gave you 3 tangible things on how to build that identity that will create momentum. Number 1, hire a coach. Number 2, trust that coach. Number 3, identify a very strong why. Your emotional why is what will move you and keep you going in difficult times. If you don't have that strong why, right? If you're not very clear on that why, you will not follow the disciplines necessary, quote unquote, the habits, the daily habits. And thirdly, you will not be consistent with the process. And so we need to identify a strong why to create that momentum. And with that momentum, right, you will have the same streaks as the people I mentioned earlier, like Darryl Strawberry, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk. Those guys have momentum because identity is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and whatever you do consistently, your brain just, it thinks that that's what it's supposed to do, and it continues to do it. And so this is the way that you, my friend, can create amazing momentum in your life. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you're inspired by this message. More importantly, I hope that you do something with it. Leave your comments down below. Hit a like, please. Sometimes we watch videos we enjoy, we forget to hit a like. That means so much to me. It just shows me that I can continue to put out content like this, and that you're liking it. More importantly, that you're taking action on it. And if we're not family yet, you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so that you can continue to see some of the info, some of the content that I put out there. I'm interested in putting out things that have value, things that you can tangibly act on right away, and that it could have a massive return on investment in your life. If you enjoyed this video, check this video out here. I'll talk to you guys soon. JT Tapias with the Empty Your Bucket Nutrition Plan. Ciao, ciao.